What if I told you that within a single ancient symbol lies the secret to eternity, the mystery of life and death, and the key to ultimate transformation? The Ouroboros, the serpent devouring its own tail, has appeared in civilizations across time and space, from the cryptic scrolls of the Egyptian temples to the arcane manuscripts of the alchemist. This symbol has whispered its secrets to those who seek deeper understanding. Yet, its true meaning remains veiled to the uninitiated. Most see it as a mere representation of infinity, a loop with no beginning and no end. But this is only the surface. The Ouroboros does not just signify eternity. It reveals the eternal process, creation and destruction, death and rebirth, the continuous cycle of the cosmos itself. It is a reminder that what dies is not lost, but transformed. But why was this symbol so revered by ancient mystics? What deeper truths does it conceal? And more importantly, how does it relate to you? In this exploration, we will unravel the hidden knowledge behind the Ouroboros. We will trace its origins through ancient traditions, decode its esoteric significance, and reveal how this sacred emblem contains profound lessons about the nature of reality, the human soul, and the journey of transformation. By the end of this journey, you will not only understand the Ouroboros, you will see it manifesting in your own life, shaping your existence in ways you never imagined. Because once you recognize the eternal cycle, you can finally learn how to transcend it. The Ouroboros is among the oldest and most enigmatic symbols known to humanity. It is an image that transcends cultures, time periods, and belief systems. Appearing in the depths of ancient Egypt, the mystical philosophies of Greece, the alchemical texts of medieval Europe, and even the esoteric traditions of the East. But where did this symbol originate, and what has it meant to those who guarded its secrets? Ancient Egypt, the cosmic serpent of creation. The earliest known depiction of the Ouroboros dates back to ancient Egypt, appearing in the funerary texts of Tutankhamun's tomb and the mystical writings of the Book of the Dead. To the Egyptians, the Ouroboros represented Atum, the primeval deity who emerged from the void to create all existence. It was also linked to the serpent Mehen, who coiled around the sun god Ra to protect him on his nightly journey through the underworld. Here, the Ouroboros was more than just a symbol of eternity. It was the cosmic force that devoured and regenerated itself, mirroring the cycles of the sun, the rebirth of the soul, and the nature of reality itself. The Egyptians believed that death was not an end, but a transformation, much like the Ouroboros consuming its own tail to be reborn anew. Greek mysticism and alchemical transformation. In ancient Greece, the Ouroboros took on a more philosophical and mystical meaning. The great thinker Plato described time as a moving image of eternity, a concept embodied by the unending loop of the serpent. It was later adopted by the Gnostics, who saw the Ouroboros as a representation of the dual nature of reality, light and darkness, creation and destruction, spirit and matter, forever entwined in a cosmic dance. One of the most famous references to the Ouroboros comes from a 2nd century alchemical text, the Chrysopoeia of Cleopatra, which contains an inscription that reads, "The one is all, and by it all things exist." This hints at an alchemical truth, that all things are connected, and transformation, whether physical, mental, or spiritual, is an essential part of the great work. Medieval alchemy, the key to immortality. As alchemy spread through medieval Europe, the Ouroboros became a symbol of the magnum opus, the great work of spiritual transmutation. The alchemists saw it as a representation of self-sufficiency, enlightenment, and the philosopher's stone, the key to eternal life. To them, the Ouroboros was a map of inner transformation. Just as base metals could be refined into gold, the human soul could evolve, purging itself of impurities until it reached divine perfection. Eastern traditions, the infinite cycle of rebirth. The concept of the Ouroboros also finds deep resonance in Eastern traditions. In Hinduism and Buddhism, the idea of samsara, the endless cycle of birth, death, and rebirth, mirrors the Ouroboros perfectly. Enlightenment, or moksha, is the moment one escapes the loop, transcending the need to reincarnate and returning to the source. Even in Taoism, the Ouroboros finds its counterpart in the yin-yang, where opposing forces endlessly flow into one another, forming a harmonious whole. Why has this knowledge been hidden? For centuries, the deeper meaning of the Ouroboros has been shrouded in secrecy, reserved only for initiates of mystical traditions. While the symbol appears in plain sight, its esoteric significance remains obscured from those who do not seek to understand. Religions and ruling powers throughout history have discouraged direct knowledge of self-transformation and inner divinity, fearing that such wisdom would make individuals independent of control. The Ouroboros teaches that creation and destruction exist within you, that you hold the power to evolve, to transcend, and to shape your destiny. This knowledge was never truly lost, only hidden in plain sight. And now, we are about to unveil its deepest secrets. The Ouroboros is not merely a symbol. It is a code, a living truth, a cosmic map hidden in plain sight. It reveals the nature of existence itself, the structure of consciousness, and the path to transformation. But to truly grasp its meaning, we must first ask, why does the serpent consume its own tail? This is where the mystery begins. The paradox of the self-devouring serpent. At first glance, the Ouroboros appears as a contradiction, an entity that destroys itself, yet sustains itself. But herein lies its hidden message. Creation and destruction are one and the same. We see this principle reflected in the very fabric of existence. Stars explode into supernovas, birthing entire galaxies. The cells in your body die and regenerate, sustaining your life. Even in human consciousness, old beliefs must be destroyed to make way for new understanding. The Ouroboros teaches that existence is not linear. It is cyclical, infinite, and self-perpetuating. The Ouroboros and the mind, the illusion of separation. What if I told you that the Ouroboros represents the very structure of your mind? Imagine this. You are born into the world with no knowledge, no sense of self. But as you grow, you begin to separate yourself from the world around you. You learn to distinguish me from not me. This is the birth of ego, the illusion of individuality. But what happens when you look deeply enough? You begin to see that your thoughts create your perception of reality, that the outside world is not separate from you, but a reflection of your mind. And when you follow this realization to its deepest truth, something profound happens. The mind consumes itself, just like the Ouroboros. In other words, the very thing that makes you feel separate, your thoughts, your beliefs, eventually lead you back to unity. The self comes full circle. The illusion collapses. This is the true secret of the Ouroboros. All things return to the one. Alchemy and the Ouroboros. Turning the self into gold in alchemy, the Ouroboros represents the ultimate transformation. the journey from base matter to gold, from the lower self to the divine self. But here's the hidden truth. The gold is not found outside of you. It is forged within. The alchemists believed that before one could transmute lead into gold, they first had to transmute their own mind and soul. The Ouroboros represents the purification process, shedding the layers of false identity, burning away illusions, and awakening to the realization that you are both the creator and the creation. The serpent does not die when it consumes itself. It is reborn. This is why ancient mystics saw the Ouroboros as the key to immortality, not in the sense of physical life, but in the realization that consciousness is eternal, that death is not an end, but a return to the infinite. Hidden truths encoded in the Ouroboros. Now, consider this. The Ouroboros is a circle, a form with no beginning and no end. It represents infinity, the eternal cycle of life, death, and rebirth. It signifies the microcosm and the macrocosm, the idea that you are the universe and the universe is you. This is why Hermetic philosophy proclaims, as above, so below, as within, so without. The Ouroboros is not just an ancient glyph. It is a message left for those who seek to understand the nature of reality. It whispers the same truth across civilizations, across time. Everything you seek is already within you. If the Ouroboros represents both creation and destruction, unity and duality, life and death, then it reveals something profound about the nature of reality itself, a truth hidden in paradox, long explored by philosophers, alchemists, and mystics. The serpent consuming its own tail forms a perfect circle, the most complete and infinite shape, challenging our deeply rooted belief in the linearity of time. We are taught to see time as a line stretching from past to future. But the Ouroboros whispers a deeper truth. Time is cyclical, not linear. The ancient Egyptians, Hindus, and Mayans all knew this. Their calendars, myths, and spiritual practices were rooted in the eternal rhythms of rise and fall, birth and death, expansion and return. Beyond that, the Ouroboros points to the possibility that time itself is an illusion and that all moments, past, present, future, exist simultaneously, looping infinitely like the serpent's body. Enlightenment, then, is not a destination ahead of us, but the realization that we have always been at the center of the circle, already whole. This is why the Ouroboros does not chase something external. It is a symbol of totality, self-containment, and the unity of all things. At its core, the Ouroboros teaches the divine union of opposites. It is not merely one thing, but two in perfect harmony: life and death, light and darkness, creation and destruction, the known and the unknown. Hermetic wisdom reveals that these dualities are not truly separate, but complementary expressions of a singular force. Just as fire and water in balance create steam, the invisible energy of transformation, so too do all opposing forces give rise to evolution when integrated. This is the essence of alchemy, the merging of apparent contradictions into a higher state of being. And this is the deeper meaning of the Ouroboros. It is not outside of you, it is you. You are both the creator and the created, the seeker and the sought, the serpent and the circle. Delving deeper, the Ouroboros points to the fractal nature of reality. Just as patterns repeat endlessly in nature, from the spiral of galaxies to the structure of DNA, so too does existence mirror itself on every level. Your cells mirror the life cycles of stars. Your thoughts loop like the serpent, shaping your experience of reality. Your consciousness, too, is a thread in the vast recursive pattern of the cosmos. In this view, you are not a separate entity within the universe. You are the universe, aware of itself through your eyes. The Ouroboros is not simply a symbol of the cosmos. It is a reflection of your own infinite nature. Yet, with this realization comes the final mystery. If life is a loop, are we destined to repeat ourselves endlessly? Here, the Ouroboros reveals its final teaching. The cycle can only be broken through awareness. The moment you recognize the pattern is the moment you gain the power to transcend it. Mystical traditions do not teach escape from life, but awakening within it. To become conscious of the cycle is to stop being devoured by the serpent and instead become the serpent itself. By surrendering to change, you flow with existence. By releases attachments, you rise above suffering. And by awakening to your true nature, you dissolve the fear of destruction, because what you truly are cannot be destroyed. The Ouroboros, then, is not merely a symbol. It is a living key to self-mastery, to awakening, and to ultimate freedom. It shows us that liberation does not come from fleeing illusion, but by seeing through it, embracing its lessons, and stepping beyond its limits. Understanding the Ouroboros is one thing, but applying its wisdom is where true transformation begins. This ancient symbol is not just a metaphor. It's a guide for awakening, evolving, and reshaping your reality through three core principles: breaking cycles, embracing paradox, and becoming the Ouroboros itself. Life moves in patterns, some empowering, others self-destructive, and many remain unconsciously trapped in loops of toxic relationships, self-sabotage, or limiting beliefs. The first key is awareness, recognizing your own Ouroboros, the repeating cycle that keeps devouring you. To break free, you begin with reflection. Identify a pattern you're stuck in, trace its origin, and ask yourself, if I change nothing, where will this lead? Then ask, what if I shifted just one thing? Awareness disrupts the loop. Intention redirects it. But it doesn't end there. The Ouroboros also reveals that mastery comes not from control, but from the embrace of paradox. You are both the creator and the creation, and in surrender, there is power. Holding two opposing truths at once, such as power and vulnerability, control and surrender, dissolves internal resistance and expands your consciousness. When you stop forcing a single truth, you enter a deeper layer of reality, one that transcends duality. Finally, to become the Ouroboros is to fully step into your infinite nature, realizing you are both the destroyer and the creator of your path. You are not a bystander in life, but a living force. Every thought, action, and choice is either feeding the loop or liberating you from it. To embody this truth, visualize yourself as the Ouroboros, infinite, whole, and complete. Set a clear intention for transformation, release resistance to your current state, and act as if the shift has already occurred. Because in the moment of awareness, the cycle is no longer your prison. It becomes your path to freedom. The Ouroboros is more than just a symbol. It is a living truth woven into the very fabric of existence. It whispers the secret of eternity, revealing that endings are beginnings, destruction is creation, and the cycle is not a prison, but a path to mastery. For centuries, this wisdom has been hidden in plain sight, etched into ancient temples, encoded in mystical texts, and embedded within the spiritual traditions of the world. But few have dared to look beyond the serpent's coils and ask, what does this mean for me? Now, you stand at the threshold of understanding. You have seen how cycles shape your life, how paradox dissolves limitation, and how the power to transform lies within your own hands. But knowledge alone is not enough. Will you remain within the loop, endlessly repeating the past, or will you step beyond it, mastering your own cycle, transmuting your reality, and becoming the Ouroboros itself? The answer is yours to uncover. Let the journey begin. If this revelation resonated with you, let us know in the comments. What cycle are you ready to break? What transformation do you seek? Share your insights, and together let us continue unveiling the hidden truths of the universe. Subscribe for more profound wisdom. Like and share to spread this knowledge to those who are ready to awaken. The path is open. Will you walk it?